right. Assalamu alaikum. I pray everyone is well. Welcome back to your power call. Let me know if you can hear me, you can see me. I know on the Vimeo side you can't see me just yet, but give me a moment. We'll get that going as well. Yes, indeed. Shout out to everybody coming through to the room. All right. I think we are good. On the Vimeo side, can you all hear me? No, you can't see me just yet, but can you hear me? Thank you, Sister Shalon. For some reason it won't let me see the chat, so I'm not sure on that side. But again, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to your power call. As always, join the power call. If you haven't joined the power call, powercall.net. If you want to upgrade to the premium side so you can give your feedback, so that you're able to share your takeaways, be able to share with us what insights you have, the experiences you've been through. We're talking about attitude today, and like as the minister brought out yesterday, we all have an attitude. Now, whether that attitude is productive or not, there's a cause behind that, and that's something that we want to keep in our forefront of our mind as we continue on this topic and finish up this particular lecture on attitude. Is we're understanding the cause for the type of attitude that we have toward one another, the type of attitude that we're in as far as the world is considered and the way that others look at us, and then that also contributes to our hostile attitude that we have with one another as well, which becomes self-deprecating. So that's what we're going to continue on. Let me make sure we are good on this side here. There we go. Assalamu alaikum. There we go. So again, if this is your first time, welcome to the power call. If this is not your first time, it's still welcome to the power call. Again, this is your power call, and we're talking about attitude. So without further ado, as we always do, as customary, we're going to start in prayer. So take the position of prayer, which is most comfortable for you, and just let's get ahead and get started. All right, attention prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, surely I have turned myself, being upright, to Him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not the polytheist. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate has He, in this I am commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, Thou art the King. There is no God but Thee. Thou art the Lord, and I am Thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but Thee. And guide me to the best of mores, for none guides to the best of mores but Thee. And turn me away from the evil and indecent mores, for none turns away from the evil and indecent mores but Thee. O Allah, make Muhammad successful, and the true followers of Muhammad successful, as Thou did make Abraham successful, and the true followers of Abraham successful. For surely Thou art praiseworthy and magnified. O Allah, bless Muhammad, and bless the true followers of Muhammad, as Thou did bless Abraham and the true followers of Abraham. Surely Thou art praiseworthy and magnified. Ameen. All right, let's see here. Let me get this back right. So we are picking up on attitude. So let me get the video. We're going to pick up where we left off at. Let's see here. We're not going to have any glitches this time around.
And in order for you to be you have to be submissive in order to be changed. But the scripture says, except you become as what? A little what? See? Except you become as a little child. you can't enter the kingdom of God. Why? Because you got to be born again. Because the way the white man shaped us, we are unacceptable to God and unacceptable to ourselves. So this teaching breaks you down in the old mold and builds you up in another mold that will make you accepted in the civilized societies of the entire world. That when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gets finished teaching you, you can go anywhere on the earth and be respected and be honored. And they will say, come in, because you know the manners, the arts, the sciences of the civilized peoples of the earth. Do you follow what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately, the brothers came with an honorable intent to buy a product. But they came at a time when the meeting was going on, and the products are not sold during the meeting. They are sold at the end of the meeting on the West Hall, and they were told you have to wait until after the meeting. They had been here at 5. It was closed. They came back, and they came at a time when the lecture was about to start. They were told you'll have to wait until after the lecture was over. They said, well, we ain't waiting. We want the product now. So we're very sorry you have to wait until after the lecture is over. We was here at 5, man. And now we're here again, and we ain't waiting. So, brother, if you're not going to wait, then you'll have to go. We ain't going no place. Now, see, now that's challenging the brothers. What do you mean you're not going any place? Brother, you can't stay here in disorder, and you can't make a nuisance on or near our posts. You have to go. And one of those brothers gave an order to the other brother, 2 brothers, to stand their ground. That means you're challenging the brothers. Now it's their force against the force of the brotherhood to eject them from the premises. Now, beloved, look. You can't see wrong when you're under another kind of teaching that develops in you a manner, disposition, feeling, position, or attitude with respect to a thing or person. Now, when you come here under this teaching, you are all of one accord, of one mind. But when someone else intrudes and says, look, I know more than they know, I can teach you better than they can. None of them people with Farrakhan are really with him. See, they're real hypocrites. They ain't with Farrakhan. See, they come in my name, but they're not helping me. They are hurting themselves, and they are hurting those who would follow them. Because now they are not taking the people to God and the apostle. They're making the people worshipers of themselves. So now they got a different manner, a different disposition, a different feeling. They take a different position with respect to the order of this house, with respect to the authority of this house. And therefore their attitude is alien. You see? And it produces controversy. It produces strife. It produces conflict. And sometimes that conflict can be resolved with proper argument or teaching, and sometimes it has to be resolved in other ways. And this, I submit to you, is what I just wrote in the newspaper. That the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said there'd be so much confusion that there will be fighting in the streets. Black will be fighting black. Black will be fighting white. White will be fighting white. White will be fighting black. That's a terrible time, isn't it? And as I wrote in the article, we are in that time. Now, beloved brothers and sisters, as you are developing a new attitude toward yourself and toward your people, you're also developing an attitude or posture toward America, her way of rule. You're also developing a posture toward the Arab world, toward Islam, toward your brothers and sisters. And all of it can be based in a teaching. And if your perception of the teaching is off, then your manner, your position, your feeling will vary to a degree that you are not one of the fold, even though you are among the flock. Ooh, that's heavy. So you can have persons with you that ain't with you at all. You can have persons that say the same word that you say, Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you, but they don't mean it. And you can have persons sitting in your midst and planning against you. David put it like this: had it been an enemy, I could have guarded against him. But it was my own familiar friend who went in and out of the temple with me and sat down at my table and ate my bread, then lifted up his heels against me. David, Jesus, I have chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil. I chose all of you, even this devil that is among you. I chose him. And if you read the scholars' representations of Jesus and how Jesus worked with Judas, he worked to make Judas one of the disciples in reality. But Judas, no matter what Jesus did for him, there was something in Judas that he would ultimately turn against his benefactor. And on the night when Jesus was betrayed, if you look at the incidents that led up to it, the Jesus was there, and I think it was Mary Magdalene. She was washing the feet of Jesus, anointing his feet, not washing, anointing his feet with a certain ointment on her hair. She put it on her hair, and she was attending his feet. Judas came in and saw this. If you look at the scene, Judas berates the woman. Judas don't stop and say, well, Jesus didn't berate her. She's his disciple. Why should I? Here comes Judas. Woman, what are you doing? Can't you see that that ointment that you are using is a very expensive ointment, and we could have sold that ointment for 300 pence or something like that and given it away to the poor. And here you are, just wasting that ointment, putting it on the master's feet. Now, you know, Jesus, he appeared like he shrugged it off. He said, "Oh, Judas, don't berate her. She's only doing this against the day of my burial." I mean, the man was so wise. The woman loved Jesus so. She didn't necessarily know he was about to be glorified. She just wanted to make him comfortable. She knew the burden that was on his head. She couldn't help him carry it, but the least she could do was comfort him. There are doctors that say that in the foot, like in the palm, there are pressure points that tie to every nerve in the body, and with the proper manipulation of the foot, you can actually relax the mind and the body, bring down the pressure. You can imagine that Jesus was under a lot of pressure. The Jews hated him. They were planning and plotting against him. Caiaphas had already said that one man had to be sacrificed in his talk to the Jews for the sake of the people. So from that point on, Jesus was careful about how he was seen in the public, because he knew they were after his life. And right after that incident, Judas went out and went to the chief priests, and they gave him the 30 pieces of silver. And the night they had the supper, his feeling, Jesus' feeling and manner and disposition with respect to the disciples was very loving and kind. Among them was Judas, who had another kind of feeling, another kind of disposition. He had lost his regard for Jesus, but he was faking that he was with him. And the Jesus peeped him long way off and said, whispered to him and said, "Well, he said openly, one of you is going to betray me." And everyone started asking the question, "Is it I? Is it I, Lord? Is it I?" When you hear teachings like this, you should ask, we should ask, question yourself, could I do this? Do I have the character to do this to a man who is literally giving his life for me? Could I do this? You should always ask yourself, is it I? Could it be me? Some of us are so vindictive. You marry somebody and something go wrong in the thing. You can't walk away and leave it. You've got to destroy the person. Have you ever seen people like that? That's the kind of spirit that Judas had. He was disappointed in Jesus because he thought Jesus was a revolutionary according to his perception of what a revolutionary is. And when Jesus didn't do the thing that he thought Jesus should do, he said, he really ain't going to liberate the Jews. And he sold him out. And Jesus whispered and said, well, whatever you're going to do it quickly. And the scripture says, and Judas went out into the night, because the darkness of the night was equal to the darkness of the deed he was about to perform. Attitudes. It changes when a seed comes into the brain against the teaching and the teacher. You can develop another attitude. Sometimes you can be in the mosque, and when you join or when you hear the word, you're so happy. You receive it with joy. Every time the doors open, you want to be there. You love the teachings. It just does something for you to hear the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then one day, in a conversation, a subtle seed is dropped in an unsuspecting mind. And that seed is watered and fed. And the love that was once there starts cooling. And then the attitude changes. The feeling changes. The disposition changes. There's a new orientation of the mind because a seed was dropped on fertile ground and it begins to uproot the faith of that individual. We are at war. And the war that's being fought is for your mind, for your soul, for your and my destruction. The white man knows his world is coming down. And he knows that you have a future, and he knows that God has come to make you able to replace his wicked rulership. And knowing that the future belongs to you, he wants to make you unworthy of your future. Though he don't have nothing for you to do, he don't want to let you go. He can't stand the fact that somebody may give you a healthy attitude. He can't stand the fact that you might one day challenge his position and come up with a new disposition. You hear what I'm saying? He can't bear that mentally. Not my niggas. Not my niggas. That I spent 400 years to make like this. Don't you come up now with a nasty attitude toward me. Not my niggas. I can't take it. So either he will kill you, imprison you, try to break you, or you break him. But we are enemies to the death. To the death of his mind or to the death of the individual. And that's your scripture. The Bible got it. You can't live together We got to separate the wheat from the tare, the sheep from the goat, the righteous from the wicked. This is a hard day. Hard day. So, beloved, you got to guard your mind. You don't come into the nation and learn the truth and recognize the value of the truth and not walk your post properly. Did you ever read that parable where Jesus was sowing seeds and it fell on stony ground and the birds came and ate the seed? It never did get a chance to germinate. Sometimes some of you will hear the truth and you like it, but it don't get in the heart because there's something in you that resists. You like it, but maybe it ain't for me, or I like it, but it just don't seem to be going in. And right away, you meet somebody. You say, oh, you know, I was over at the Farrakhan today, and I heard something, man. I really like what I heard. You was over there with them niggas? I thought you had more sense than that. You listen to that stuff? And before you know it, the light is just taken right on out of your eyes. Boom! And the next time we see you, you just as dull and dead and ugly acting and a changed attitude. And many of you that are listening to me now, you've been through these changes. You've been up and you've been down. You've come close and then something happened and drove you away. You've got to protect your mind. You must protect your mind. Because if you don't, you'll hear things that will tickle your ears. And I don't mind telling you, brothers and sisters, that, you know, there are people that will teach Islam on a luxury basis. And you don't have to obey no law. You can be a good Muslim. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. So you feel you can smoke reefer, use coke, fornicate, commit adultery, do lesbian acts or homosexual acts, sodomy or whatever, and you feel, what the hell, you know, I'm still a Muslim because I believe. I'm going to leave you now, brothers and sisters. We are at war. And some of you are already casualties in the war. And you know it. Yes, sir. You know you're a casualty. But thanks to Allah, sometimes when you know you're a casualty, you also know where the medicine is to make you well again. I never realized, brothers and sisters, as I conclude, that when I was a young Muslim trying to follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that one day you know, I would be a hated man. I used to hear him talk about Jesus, and when I used to teach, the one history that I loved to teach more than any other history was the history of Jesus. And I used to cry when I think about Jesus. and how he tried to teach those Jews, and they hated him so, and the names that they called him, and how they plotted at a certain point to take his life, and then put out a demand on his life, $1,500 in gold, alive, $2,500 in that day, dead. Put a reward out for him. So he had to go into hiding. He would teach and flee and hide and run and teach and flee and hide and run. I mean, this is Jesus. He had to even fool the disciples sometimes. He'd make them think he'd come up over there and they'd see him coming from another direction. All because his life was in danger in the midst of the Jews. Man, I used to read that in the New Testament as you did. And I used to read and teach the history. I never thought that I would walk in that man's shoes. Now, it's one thing to say you love Jesus. Hey, well, it's another thing to follow him. Hey, whole heap of people love him, but ain't too many following him. And look here, brother, I followed him in this path accidentally. You know how you stumble up on something? Do you think I ever would have talked about Jews knowingly? I mean, there ain't nothing in my makeup that would make me say, all right, today we're going to attack Jews. That didn't happen. It was my love for Reverend Jackson. See, love will get you into trouble, and love will get you out of it. So many of you have gotten into the worst fights of your life because you love somebody. Isn't that right? Now, I saw him getting ready to vamp on Jesse. I didn't know what I was getting into. And I said to the Jews, you better leave this man alone. And I threatened them that God would retaliate if they harmed Reverend Jackson. The Jews went behind the door just that quick and said, who is this nigga that has risen up among black people that dares threaten us with God's wrath? And the next day, they were calling me a black Hitler. I still didn't know what it was all about. They lambasted me. I shot back at them. And my stuff just happened to be stronger because it's from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who got it from God. Now, but wait. The seriousness of it is, and I can only make an analogy with my teeth. You ever had a toothache? A toothache is a bad thing, ain't it? When your tooth gets aching, sometimes you don't know which tooth it is. Because the pain look like one time it's over here, the next time it's over there, next time it's in the jaw. You don't know where it is. I mean, this thing is just ruining you. So the doctor said to me, he said, well, Farrakhan, he said, this pain that you got, he said, it would give you some pain medicine, but what I want to do is within 48 hours, if you don't take any pain medicine, you know exactly which tooth is giving you the trouble. I found out which one. But the pain was so great, when you put heat or cold on it, the pain would shoot all up into the brain. From that nerve all the way right up into the brain. I said, oh. See, when I touched the nerve, that I touched with Reverend Jackson, it went straight up to the brain of those that rule this world. Now listen to me, brothers and sisters. This is not no romance, and this is not no soap opera. This is the real thing, man. We touched a nerve. And to show you, when you touch a nerve, you expect a reaction, don't you? Who reacted? It's not what the reaction is. Who reacted, brothers and sisters? Reagan came out. He's Irish. Bush came out, the vice president. The Senate came out. Who told them, go and attack Farrakhan? Who told them? What made them come out and say the things that they said about Farrakhan? And when they said it, their whole idea was to isolate me so totally and completely from you, from our people, to create a feeling, a manner, a disposition, a position in you with regard to me, that you would turn your back on me so that they could lynch me and make you say good. And God did something different.
Yes, sir.
The more they beat on me, black people say, oh, wait a minute. Now, I don't know nothing about this man Farrakhan. Black people said, well, I'm going to go out and hear what he got to say. If they don't want me to hear him, must be something good. Because I don't know no niggas that white folks scared of. And they look like they're petrified of him. On the job, when they mention his name, they go to talking crazy and acting up. It's something strange here. I'm going to hear what this nigga's saying. And so I would go, and just this last time in Los Angeles, Brother Wali Muhammad, with his microphone, talked to many people in the line. They were well-dressed, highly intelligent, dignified, and the white reporters were questioning them too. Why are you here? I'm here to hear Brother Farrakhan.
That's right. That's right.
But why do you want to hear him? He's a man that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Then some said, I never heard him before. But since they're kicking up such a fuss about him, I just got to hear what he got to say. They got everybody so upset. So now, white folks are thoroughly upset now, brothers and sisters. And because we intend to have our convention in New York, this is to them like Farrakhan is going to challenge us in the town that Jesse called Jaime Town. Jesse recognized that New York, like Jerusalem, is the capital city of the Jews. And it was in Jerusalem that Jesus was both crucified and honored. When they said Hosanna in the highest, they did it in Jerusalem. And when they killed him, it was on the streets of Jerusalem, according to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. Well, brothers and sisters, We got a brand new attitude. And the attitude that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching gives us has contained in it the attitude of rulership. And no follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad can go anywhere today and be submissive to inferior wisdom and teaching. Once you get the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you don't bow no more to nothing or nobody until you meet God. Boy, that's something. That means that your attitude is destructive of their attitude. They cannot destroy your attitude, but you can destroy theirs, because their attitude is based on a false teaching that white is superior to black. But your attitude is based on the truth that the black man is the original man, and that God has come to sit them down and to take the lost, the despised, the rejected, the last, the bottom, and bring it to the top. This is God's doing. And it is marvelous in our sight. So, dear brothers and sisters, you develop a healthy attitude. Think about how you think about yourself, and think differently. You must see you as a direct descendant of the God, and you must act accordingly. You hear me? You are the first of his creation. Before there was a sun, a moon, or star, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us, the black man was. And there is nothing in the universe that shows our beginning. As far back as the anthropologists, paleontologists, ethnologists, geneticists look, they don't find our beginning in the rocks. They don't find it in the earth. They don't find it in the sun. Yes. We were in the beginning with God. We are the Creator's nation. We are born in the nature of God himself. You are born the righteous, but you are by circumstance made wicked. You may be weak, but you are the righteous, but you must now develop the right attitude toward yourself. And be true to yourself. You are the righteous. You are the best. You are the powerful. Now be yourself. So when you walk out of here tonight, walk out with a healthy disposition. And you practice having a better disposition toward one another. The person that you think you don't like at all, that's the person you should go to and get it together. Because the very person you don't like may be the very one to save your life. Don't pick your friends by color. In the Brotherhood of Islam, all of Muslims are the brother and sister to one another. We didn't choose ourselves, so don't say, well, I can only hang out with the college brothers, the college trained sisters. Because you see, I can't be seen with the riffraff. That's a poor attitude. That's a sick attitude. Because if you think you got more, then much more is required of you. We are family. You are family. Whether you're a Christian, Baptist, Methodist, Muslim, you are family. Sharpen up your attitude. And you go home to your family with a nice disposition, in a better manner, taking a correct position, with the right feeling, with a new orientation of your mind, with a body language that bears witness to the new posture of your mind. And let the world know that you are fulfilling the book. Be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Like my soul sister sang, I got a brand new attitude. Thank you for listening. America.
Great lecture from the minister on attitude. I'm sure we all have something of value to give that we've taken away, that we've learned, not only from the lecture, but learned about ourselves and how we look at attitude. Let me make sure I have everything right here. Let's see here. Let me get this right. Let me get it right. There we go. There we go. If you have anything to share, please press the number 1. So we're speaking about on the premium side. If you have anything to share, definitely press the number 1 as well. A sister brought out that she was not able to upgrade. So I'm going to briefly show, if it would be the will of Allah, I can show you on my phone because I don't want to disturb the stream with too many windows here. So I'm going to try to show you on my phone how to do that before we get to the takeaways real briefly. So let's do that real quick here. So can you all see my, let's see, there we go. It's not gonna be the best way, but I'm gonna try my best. But when you're on the, if you're using an Apple phone, you'll have to go through your web browser. You'll have to actually go to your Safari or your Chrome and type in the powercall.net. If you already have an account, just log into your account. If not, go ahead and set up your account, but you should have those options to upgrade. But when you go to, once you're in the app, you can see you have these 3 lines at the top. You click that. That's going to give you your navigation bar, and then you're going to find General. When you choose General, the first options that pop up should be the plans that we have here. So you have the business plan, and you have the premium plan, the $25 a month plan here, and then you'll have the option to subscribe, and it will take you to the payment option. If you're on an Apple phone, you see these plans. You won't have the option to pay on in the app. You have to go to the web browser. If you have an Android phone, you'll be able to go within the app and upgrade. So, sister, if you're already subscribed, well, you're not subscribed, but if you already have an account on the app, let us know in the chat if you still have issues, and we'll be able to hopefully be able to walk you through that as well directly. So let us know if you do that. But again, if you would like to share on the premium side, shout out to everybody who has already upgraded on the premium side. If you would like to comment, if you would like to share your takeaways or feedback, press the number 1, and we'll definitely do that. I see Sister Shalon and Sister Randisha, if you can, just keep track of the who's up next in case we get a little, the chat gets a little excessive. So let's see here. Sister Shalon, let me find, there you are. Right. Okay. And let me, before you get started, let me make sure everyone else can see on the other side and hear you. One moment. There we go. There we go.
Can I be seen and heard?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. Let me make sure I mute myself on my side so there's no echo. Give me 1 second. There we go.
Okay. Okay, so in of course we know how powerful this was. Okay, except you come as a little child, be born again, be acceptable to yourself. So of course he was talking with regard to your attitude and with regard to how you act and respect and honor yourself in oops in society. Thanks to us being in the nation of Islam, we know the science of a civilized society. And we know, we really see, because of this, we really see how society has really degraded itself. And thanks to the teachings that we are able to rise above the madness that society is in now. He also, when he was talking about how the the sister was rubbing Jesus's feet and comforting him. He said, and it made me think of how women are with regard to the man. How we know that he's dealing with so much in his mind with regard to what's out here in the world and how the world sees the black man. So even though we know that we can't take away what's going on in his mindset, and we can't take away the heaviness of every day for him, we can at least make him comfortable. That stood out to me. Also, what really stood out to me with what is going on in my little world right now, it was said that he said, is it I? Like, is this really happening to me? This cannot be happening to me. Why is this vindictiveness? And when he said the word vindictive, I'm like, my goodness, there are people out here who are really vindictive. They cannot just go away from a situation. If something is uncomfortable, something is disturbing them, why not just say, okay, let it be, go away from the situation, move yourself out of that, leave it? Why is it that you have to be vindictive and destroy what it is that's just try to destroy the individual, or try to destroy whatever it is that the individual has going on? Just walk away from the situation. Don't have to go back and try to find everything possible to do to make the situation worse. The word vindictive really stuck out to me. And then he says something about darkness of the deed. Why does the darkness of the deed have to equal the darkness of the night? Because of your attitude about the situation, you have to really go into that dark space. And lastly, we are in a war for our minds and our souls. Guard your mind. Protect your mind. I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you, sister. Oh, there we go. Alaikum salam. Thank you, sister. That was great takeaways there. Again, if you would like to comment or share your takeaways, press the number one. One of let me see if I can do this the right way here. Come back to that side. There we go. So one of the things that stood out to me, which was one of the later comments that you made, Sister Shalon, was about us um, being able to think about how we think about ourselves. That perception of ourselves has a lot to do with how we treat everyone else. If you don't feel like you're worth it, if you don't understand, and that's the importance of the teachings that were given us, is teaching us the knowledge of God, teaching us the knowledge of self, teaching us the knowledge of the devil, our enemy, as well, so that we're not walking around guessing, wondering who's with us and who's not. And when he brought up about, being able to guard against the evil seeds of the mind as well, and we really want to pay attention to the conversations that are being had with us and with one another. Just because they have a bow tie, just because they're wearing a headpiece, just because they are dressing modestly or have a suit on and things like that, does not mean that they're in a line with us. Because as he brought out, if our perception of the teachings are off, then everything that we do is off as well. So it's a domino effect. So we have to make sure we're guarding that mind. We have to protect our mind. And we need to make sure that we see ourselves as a direct descendant of God. Once you begin to think like that, and he brought out how the attitude that we're given give us an attitude of rulership. And once you have that attitude, you no longer want to submit to any other inferior teaching or wisdom that you're given. He didn't speak to just inferior people, which many people believe, okay, you all hate white people. It's not about hating white people. And that's another thing that we have to understand, that hearsay will get us in trouble. So we have to make sure that we're doing our studies. We are getting it from the source. We're not going off what other people say. Yes, it's good to hear the feedback and takeaways, but it's good to take these notes as we pick up from these lectures, and we're listening directly to the minister give us the information, that we take this information, study on it, and allow that seed to germinate in our mind, and not let the seeds of the media, not let the seeds of those in, out and about doing their own thing to plant in our minds. As he brought out, where people will have conversation with you, asking you, why are you going to the mosque, why are you listening to what the minister has to say, don't they hate white people, and all these type of things. And I think about that when I'm out with the Final Call newspaper, and I've spoken to some white people, and they ask, is a Muslim is black? And I said, being a Muslim is one who submits their will to the will of Allah, will of God. It has nothing to do with color. But what is your motive? You have to think about, what is the motive behind what you asking me. Think about these type of things, and being able to rise above emotions. Because again, it's not for us to argue about the truth. The truth needs no defense. It's our job to be the example, give a clear explanation, and carry it on from there. And once it becomes chaotic, that's when we're supposed to walk away. Just peace be unto you, and keep it moving, because we don't know who else is watching this example happen and take place. So we have to be mindful of that. As well, I see Sister Yasina. She have a comment, so I'll pause there, and we'll turn it over to her. Let me find you real quick. But we definitely want to guard against those seeds or those suggestions, because if we're not confident in what we're learning, you make yourself prone to anything being said to you that, like he said, that tickles your ear, and it will cause you to be distracted. Let me get you on the other screen as well here. There we go. Let me mute myself. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
You could have kept going, Brother Wesley. You on a roll.
Look, save some for everybody else, right? Don't want to take it all.
Yeah, can some of y'all put some ones in here and come up? Because I know y'all have something to share. Stop holding back. You make the blessings that you can bestow on somebody else. So my takeaways were, he talked about you can have people around you, and they can say assalamu alaikum, or you can have people in your own home, in your own circle of friends, who you think are with you, but they're plotting against you. So that stood out to me. And when he said, protect your mind, and reminded us that we're at war, and that some of us are already casualties. But those of us who know that we are casualties, that, we can take the medicine, and love will get you into trouble, and love will get you out of it. So I just want to, give those takeaways real quick, because they were very important and poignant to me, having been in the nation for a very, 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 very long time. And, you stay in this long enough, then you do see people who, it could be the little things that you do, or it could be the grand things that you do. You have people in and out of the nation who will come against you. Some of your own people, some of your own family members. So, whether it's church, whether it's mosque, but particularly because I've been in the nation so long, I've seen it for my own self, and experienced that for my own self. But Allah is the best knower, and the part about protecting the mind, nobody can have your mind except to whom you give it to. So for the believers, staying connected to Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, staying connected to the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and staying connected to him, and knowing that for those of us who know and believe that he is alive and in power, staying connected to the Messiah in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is very, very critical in this time because we don't want to be caught being the seeds that were sown and now we're just like, like not even scattered pearls, or like scattered dust, just blowing in the wind, because we will find ourselves falling into the hellfire. It starts with the hellfire of the mind. And then if we don't get back in line, then it could lead to our ultimate destruction. So, and it isn't a time to straddle the fence, you know. It's a time for us to make the decision if we're going to be on the side of Allah or if we're going to be on the side of Satan. But I wanted to really quickly read something from the Women in Islam Educational Series, Part 2 by Mother Taineta Muhammad. And she writes on page 7, how do we make the change from something old into something new? How must the God of righteous begin? What thought do you have of him in his beginning? He makes all things new. The first way to bring about something new is to change the way of thinking of the people. When you have removed from the people the old mind and idea, then you can insert new ideas into their minds. This is done by the old being attracted by a new way of teaching, a new school of learning to condition their minds to that thing that you are about to present to them that is altogether new and different from what they have been accustomed to. This is like the creation of us in the beginning. The God who created us had no material to use to begin a creation. He had only himself. Therefore, out of darkness and the thoughtless and invisible, he brought out the visible vision and thought and idea. He made a brain which had the power to cover the sphere of our thinking and to produce from that thought what image or vision that the brain cells could conceive. The wisdom, idea, and way of thinking of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, is superior to any way of believing today. There is no one to hinder his image or thought for that which has not yet been conceived in our brain. He goes after the root of all things, like our Father did in the beginning, when he built the universe out of nothing. He is one sitting out in space with no material of space to make something altogether new. He goes after the root in making this new world of people. That's from Our Savior Has Arrived, pages 122 through 123. And just to end on it, in the Holy Quran, it's in Surah 6, 104, it reads, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Vision comprehends him not, and he comprehends all vision, and he is the subtle, the aware. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he is Yaqub in reverse.
Mm.
So him being Yaqub in reverse and having the teachings of Master Farad Muhammad, he is guiding us and directing us into a whole new way of thinking, a whole new mindset, a whole new vision, a whole new reality. We just have to be willing to submit ourselves in this day and this time and this hour to take off the old man and woman and put on the new. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That takes me to that other point I was going to bring out. How and this may have been in the previous lecture. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but we've understood that you could become hypocrite overnight. So when you think about, and it happens in reverse as well. So that's where you want to be careful, and help me if I'm misquoting this as well. How we want to be careful with when we're entertaining a stranger, because we don't know if we're entertaining an angel. So one of the things that I was listening to few days ago with Brother Minister Jabril was that when those who are looking to do, well, ministers that are preparing a lecture or getting ready to deliver a message to the people, how the environment is so important, how you don't want to have problems coming to you before you deliver a message. You don't want to have a day of stress and people bring you all of their worries at that time, because you're at this point working on your connection with Allah to be able to deliver the message clearly, precisely, and to help people. So that's is very important. The same way for us, if we're coming to listen to a lecture, that we want to come into the mosque or into our study group, come into the power call. We want to come with the right mindset so that the seed of truth can germinate properly, and we're not bombarded by those evil seeds or suggestions that can cause us to not hear what we need to be hearing. We'll begin to pick up some of the words, but we're not getting all of the words. Then our mind has gone to another place. We're not focused on the teachings, which then we leave the mosque, we leave the study group, we get off the power call, and at this point we have truth mixed with falsehood, so we're no better than we were before we came in. So that's where we want to make sure that we're guarding our mind, making sure that we make it clear that okay, we're about to get into this classroom. So we want to prepare ourselves. And as the minister brought out, how you don't enter into the kingdom of God unless you're like a child, childlike, not childish, but childlike. We want to be curious. We want to ask questions because we want a deeper understanding. But if we're showing up as if we already know, if we're showing up as if, oh, this who is this person that can teach me, and how they, it's not the minister, this someone else, this student minister so and so, or this, that, and third, then at that point our attitude is not in the right for us to get the message that's being delivered to us. So we just want to make sure that we guard against those type of suggestions. And as Sister Yasina, she put it in the comment section about the sowing of the seed, how we want to make sure that the seeds are on fertile ground. But what type of seed is on that fertile ground? So even if our mind is ready to hear, are we ready to hear the bad? Are we looking for the fault? Are we looking just as the messenger when he would speak, and the minister would hear, he's like, why is he not using the right verbs or right nouns, or not using doing the sentences the right way? And he said, don't get caught up in how I'm saying. Take what I'm saying. Get the message itself. So, and I'm paraphrasing there as well, but we want to make sure that we don't get caught up using the mind that this world has conditioned us to have, and become like a child and be willing and be opening our minds and our hearts to receive the truth, and let that germinate, let that sprout roots, or get roots into ourselves, rather than trying to mix what we got from the world and mix what we getting from it and thinking that that's going to be that we building upon something. We building upon a foundation that wasn't built for us if we're coming from the world and trying to take what we got from the world. And that's one thing that I've been working constantly on in myself. So like when I go to study group and I'm in my meetings and things like that, though I've read books and learned about this, that, and the third, none of that equals out to the teachings of what I'm getting now. So I have to empty my cup. That's the whole point of going to a classroom and learning from a teacher. You don't come to the class to teach with the teacher. You come to learn and be a student. So we just want to be guarded of that as well, and not to think that we have it all, because we don't. We are going through a process, and that's something that we reiterate a lot on this power call, that we're in the process of developing. And if at any point we allow our emotions to get ahead of us, we allow what we think we know to get ahead of us, we stunt our growth. We're going to stop at that. We're going to have it be at a plateau. So we want to make sure that we're aware of that, and aware of our attitude, so that we can allow that seed to germinate in our mind the proper way as well. So definitely, again, if anyone has anything to share, press the number one. We got 26 people over in the premium. I'm sure more than just two or three of us have something that we want to share or took away as well. But if you don't want to come out on camera, we have the power call testimonial space in the app. That's where you want to share your takeaways from the power call directly, not just post anything, not just give, post scriptures and things like that. Make it relevant to the power call. If you're going to post a scripture that you got from the power call, state that you got it from the power call. Here's the scripture, and here's what I learned from the scripture, so that it's all related to, because we have new individuals coming on the app every day. So when we are sharing our takeaways, let me fix the camera here. I didn't realize I was looking at nothing. There we go. So when you put your takeaways in the power call testimonials, people are able to catch up. They may not have heard the previous lectures. They may not have heard what that sister or what that brother may have shared. So you sharing your takeaways in that testimonial spot is a way for us to glean off of what you may have learned. Some of us aren't, maybe traveling. We may be doing this, that, and the third, working, but we listening in, so we don't have time to get on the power call. But we want to make sure that we still share our takeaways because we should be learning something every day. That's something that I like to do every day. I want to make sure I learn something new. I learn something new from y'all every day. So when you don't share, you kind of not helping the cause if you think of it that way. This is a full round table. This is a round table for us to come together and say, okay, this is what I got. Because what you received and what you went through in your life helps you understand something different from a lecture. So be sure to share if you don't want to share. And if you're on the Vimeo side, you can upgrade. Go to general. If you saw the walkthrough, if you're on an Apple phone, go to powercall.net on your web browser, whether it's Safari or Chrome, log in, and then go to general. Pick your plan that you want to upgrade to so that you can come over and share here as well. But if you don't like to come on camera, you don't like the sound of your voice or whatever it may be, you can share your takeaways in the Power Call testimonial section as well. Okay, brother Eric? Okay, we got someone inspired to speak. That's what I'm talking about. Let me bring you on up. But again, this is your power call. This is not just whoever you see maybe hosting at the time, whether it's Brother Ben, whether it's me, it's whoever. We have the King Cam, Sister Randisha may come up and host, Sister Alexia may come up and host, whatever's going on. This is your power call. It's for you. So make sure you engage in the spaces that we have as well. Give your feedback. We're always looking to improve the app. We're always looking to improve the spaces. This is a ever-growing process that we're in, whether it's digitally or physically. If you want to visit your local mosque, make sure, or study group, go to www.noistudygroup.com. Fill out the information. The sister will get back to you as soon as possible, so that we can get you in, so you can see for yourself. And I just sent the invite to you, Brother Eric. So once you see that, we'll bring you on up. There you go, brother. Wa alaikum salam. Let me get you. Let me get you on the other side as well, so everybody else can hear you. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right, you good to go, my brother. You good to go.
Yeah. Peace, family. I was a little shy about. I'm always shy about stuff. Me being a not so shy person, but when it comes to something of knowledge, then that's when you get shy. So I appreciate the encouragement, Brother Wesley. Also, from what I got from the power call this morning, I'm always in transition, but I make it a point so that I could listen at least. But one of the things that got me is being born again. That's what the minister talked about, being born again, meaning that, we have to get rid of that old coat so we can put on this new coat. So you got older guys like me that, I listen to Imam Isa al-Hadi, all the way back from 1989, they in Bushwick, New York, and all these other places, listen to people that come in the name of truth, and they deceive so much and they hurt a lot of us. So, and they brainwash us because they create all these books that I learn about. They create a whole world. And once I started coming to the teachings of the knowledge of, it's like I have to dawn a new day. It's a new day. So everything that I learned, I'm fighting it. It's so much. That's why sometimes it seems overwhelming, but it's not. I stay encouraged through the power call, through Allah, but it's just at the same time, it have taught us some things that it's just every step, it's like it moves you in a different direction. But taking off that coat, taking off what you think you might know, you actually don't know it until it is brought to you in a way that, like, hey, look, I'm starting over. I'm an infant. I'm born again. So now I can really learn and be in the kingdom, be accepted. So that was all I wanted to share. I'm going to leave you as I greeted you. Assalamu alaikum. Love, family.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, thank you. And are you? Yeah, you already able to let yourself down.
Okay.
If not, I can help you out. There you go. You got it. You got it. All right, there we go. We see some more ones coming in. That's what I'm talking about. Let me get your sister Patrice. And apologize if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Let me just type it in. There we go. There we go. But yes, great takeaway, brother. Like I said, we all are growing. So never feel as if, oh, I may not have the right words, or I don't know what to say. I'm not knowledgeable in the nation and this, that, and the third. You still have experiences. You still are learning something today. So even what you shared today is something beneficial that we all can learn and glean from as well. I just sent you the invite, Sister Beatrice or Patrice. Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name as well. Let me know if you see it. And also, if you come on, you are able to turn your camera off if you don't want to be seen. You can still be heard. So either way, we don't let anything be a barrier for us to share what we feel. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Patrice.
Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam, sir. Thank you. It's growing on me. It's growing on me, Sister Beatrice.
Yep. Thank you.
That's okay. No issues. I've been called out my name, so Sister Beatrice is fine. Yes, sir. My takeaway from this was when the minister was talking about how when we receive the teachings, the life-giving teachings, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, that it starts to break away that falsehood and we cannot be ruled by the foolishness of this world any longer. So when he said that, I thought about personal relationships, that family, that because I have the teachings and I was not arguing, but not even debating, but openly discussing with my family, certain family members, the knowledge that was imparted on me to lift them up out of the falsehood that we were taught all of our lives. Not in a malicious way, not in a I know more than you, or I'm better than you, or you're wrong and I'm right. Not in that spirit. I wasn't coming in that spirit. But because some of them are afraid, it caused a rift between us. And what was my attitude towards them for rejecting me, rejecting my choices now that that I'm striving to uphold to, the way that I'm striving to live my life now. It's very different from than it was before. So they don't know me as I am now. They only know me as, growing up. And I didn't even know myself at that time. So that's a very poor comparison. And that just caused a lot of judgment, ill judgment on me. And attitude, Allah is the best knower. And that could have did one of two things. That could have made me either strive harder into Allah to give me greater understanding as to why my family was rejecting me, or I could have said, you know what, I need my family more than I need the truth.
Mm.
So I'm going to reject the truth just to have the love of a family, or even the presence of a family that was holding on to something that that is completely false. So I had a choice to make, and Allah is the best knower. So I had to, part ways with a lot of the ideologies, a lot of the just, I don't know how to properly explain it, but I hope that you can understand what I'm attempting to convey. That I still love my family, and I don't find it as a personal attack towards me that I'm rejected for who I am today. They just I'm to the point where it's just it is what it is, and I still love them, and I'm still striving to be at peace with everything, because Allah is the best knower. So I can't sit back and be judgmental as to why people reject it. I have a son who was very apprehensive when I wanted to join the nation. And I told him, I said, we believe in the same God. We serve the same God. Our levels of understanding is just different. And it's not that I don't think that, some of my family members are not, that their relationship with the creator isn't sincere or isn't correct. Their levels of understanding it's just different. And I'm not their judge, so thank you for allowing me to share. Sorry about the traffic, but assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I didn't hear the traffic at all, so I guess that's a lot of working right there. But I tell you this, and I'm glad you shared that as well. And again, I'm paraphrasing because I'm not the clip guy, so I don't have the clips ready. I'm working on my clips, but I don't have any just yet to be able to tie in. I can bring you down, Sister Patrice. Don't worry about that. There we go. But what we think about as well is that our goal here, we serve Allah. And Allah is the best. Know, as you started stated as well, He's the best of planners. That's the importance of us being the example and giving our best example, because we are able to share that with our family. We're able to share what we're learning, get a better explanation. Like you stated, we if we're believing in one God, we serve the same God. We're saying that, but it's just a different understanding. It's a higher understanding and a clearer understanding as well. So as long as we're refining our approach, refining our explanation, and making a better example of ourselves for them to see, Allah is the one that will call them into coming into these teachings as well. So as long as we're doing our best to reflect that these teachings are giving us life, over time we'll begin to see that Allah is softening that heart, as it said as well. So let's get Brother Stephen up here. Let's see here. Let me find you, Brother Stephen. There we go. All right, you should have the invite coming to you now, my brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Man, honest to you, Brother Wesley, honest to all the brothers and sisters on call as well. My biggest takeaway was when the minister was talking about the woman and Jesus was not able to assist him, but was able to provide comfort. And the strongest part of what I got from that was not always trying to be Jesus, but more so trying to be the woman, trying to be the comforter, not always trying to be the one to carry the burden of those, but be the one to ease it, because that's really what love is. Comforting is the ability to identify someone else's struggle, and it's always not about providing the remedy, but just holding the hand while they are able to take in the remedy, while they are able to be healed, or while they are able to carry their own burden or go through their own fire or carry their own cross. Because comfort is freeing the pain or constraints from someone. So allowing them to be free while they go through that, while they're creating freedom or space for them to carry their cross. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, like you brought up, like you said, we try to take the wrong role sometimes. It's our goal to help in the process, but Allah is the one that's doing the work. So
Yes, sir.
let me drop you down. You see how to remove? Let's see. There we go. I think we got you. There we go, brother. Thank you, brother, for sharing. Praise be to Allah for that as well. Who else do we have after Brother Steve? Okay, Brother Young Khan the Don. Let's bring you up here. Let's see. We still got you up there, brother. Steven, I'm not sure why that is. That's technology, but we're gonna work through it. Let's see here. There we go. All right, invite coming your way, brother. Okay, then we got Sister Melba.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Can you hear me?
Walaikum salam. Yes, sir. Seeing and hear you.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Good morning, Grand Rising. What up with it? However you want to say it. Hey man, look, let me just say this to y'all. Y'all know I try to be quiet because y'all know I'm a fireball. Hey, Sister Alexa, you already know what time it is when I get on this thing. Now, I'll be trying to be quiet, but y'all be timid on this thing. I need y'all to come on outside, man. I need y'all to come on outside and give me the spirit that I know black people got. All of y'all got something powerful to say on this call, but you sitting on this camera nervous. You sitting knowing you got something to say to add to this conversation. Some of y'all paid to get on here and be quiet. Sister Randisha, we got to come on outside now. I'm just saying, y'all being too quiet on this thing in the morning, man. Look, the minister is talking about attitude. So I got a question for y'all. Are we BWA or are we NWA? Wait a minute. BWA, Brother Wesley, are we believers with attitudes? The attitude that we are the winners, that we will be victorious, that Satan cannot win because his time is up? Or are we still NWA? Are we still niggas with attitudes? With the attitude of don't nobody want to hear what I got to say. Don't nobody want to listen to me because my words ain't gonna come out right. I might stumble and fumble a little bit, brother Stephen. I think we still NWA, man. We listen to all these teachings. We hear all this word. We hear Brother Ben. We hear Brother Wesley. We hear all these ones get on this call and we sit behind this camera. Sister Chelsea, you know what I'm talking about. We sit behind this camera. We don't even like looking at ourselves without judging ourselves. See, that's the mind of an NWA. When you can't accept your own and be yourself, oh, you definitely still NWA now. When are you going to be BWA? That's what I want to know. When are you going to transform by the renewing of your mind and become BWA? Yeah, that's what we got to be, because it's easy, Brother Eric, to say we love Jesus, like the minister said. That's my takeaway. Yeah, we love Jesus. He said it ain't so easy to follow Jesus. Well, that Jesus that we following in the person of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, yeah, I said it. And I'm going to stand on mine all day, and I always want all the smoke. That's why I put my phone number out there, Brother Eric, because ain't nobody going to call me on it, because they know I come with the facts. I tell them, don't fight me, fight these facts. It's easy to say you love Jesus. Go ahead, Jesus. Tell them, Jesus. Expose Satan, Jesus, but just don't ask me to be Jesus. But what about you? You are Jesus too. What if we depended on you to get the word out? Oh, what if we was depending on you to have the spirit and fire up the people in the community, in the neighborhood, and your family? Some of y'all falling down just being challenged by your family. Some of y'all can't take the heat from your co-worker. Some of y'all can't take the heat from the person that you live with, but yet you claiming to follow Jesus. Come on now. Are you NWA or BWA? Because the BWA, man, say no weapon formed against the righteous shall prosper. The BWA say I can do all things through Christ, including come on camera and say what I want to say. Y'all should be blowing this thing up with ones all on here, especially if you are a premium member. And if you ain't a premium member, you need to pay what you weigh and get inside this group and let your voice be heard. That's all I want to say to y'all, man. Y'all have a great blacktastic day, in the words of Brother Ben X, man, and let's show and prove that we BWAs and not NWAs. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it loud and clear. Did you get the message? That's the question. Did you get the message? That was beautiful, brother. I appreciate you. Praise be to Allah. Got it. Yeah, put the fire emojis, put the eagle emojis in there. That's the big eagle right there. Just landed on us. Wake us up in this morning. I see it was a brother who in the comments was saying that he's having an issue with getting on the power call on through the Vimeo link through the browser. What I would suggest, I'll continue to dialogue with them in the chat. But definitely, if you're upgrading, use the web browser. But then once you have upgraded, go ahead and download the app, and at that point we'll be able to. I know for sure that works. I'm working to see what it looks like on the browser side to come on to the Vimeo as well. So we'll continue to work on that. I appreciate that feedback. We'll continue to get that straight. But again, this is your power call. This isn't Brother Ben is the visionary. He started this thing. He's put this thing together. He's financed this thing, but it's for us to share, us to build with one another, us to share our takeaways, our testimonies, be able to give our experiences, go along this journey together. And as Brother Young Khan brought out, if we just sitting back, just watching, and we not actually applying, that's really what it comes to as well. When you just taking in all this information, it's like getting the itis. You know what I mean? Then you don't do anything because you just eating. You're just taking all this information, but you're not putting it into practice. You're not putting it back out. You're not sharing it with someone else. A brother brought that up one time at the mosque where it says that if you getting, and I think, excuse me, I think Brother Ishmael may have said if you feel like you're getting lax, it's because you're not fishing. You're not bringing people to the mosque. You're not doing the work. And if you're not doing the work, you will get lackadaisical. You will start missing your meetings and missing the study group and not coming out on Sunday. Or you only come out on Sunday, or you only come out when you hear that the minister is going to be speaking, or when you hear a certain student minister that you like. That's the only time you show up, is because we're not doing the work. We're not applying the teachings that we're given, and that's the whole point of what this is for: is to keep the teachings on our mind. This is something that's happening every day, Monday through Friday in the mornings, for us to keep it on the forefront of our minds, keep us exposed to these teachings, to guard against those evil suggestions. So if we're not taking this information, as we say, the power call is great. We all bear witness that this is good for us. Well, I love the power call, but if we get off the power call and go right back to living a life like we don't have any power, then is the power call really powerful for you? I mean, even with myself, I've come a long way. You know what I mean? Just in a few months of being on the power call, I've been able to wake up and become who I knew I was all along. But I was afraid of what people think. I was raised being a Jehovah's Witness, and I still bear witness there's only one God. But I was worried about what people was gonna think, what my friends gonna think, what the co-workers gonna think, what's this, that, and the third, what they gonna think. It doesn't matter what they think at the end of the day. What matters is what Allah thinks. And once I understood that, I have a new confidence about myself. I used to didn't want to get on camera either. I had things I wanted to share, but I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna sit back and listen to see what somebody else say. Maybe somebody else will share it, and I don't have to share it. But no, that's not how we get there. Then I said, okay, well, I got locks in my hair. I'm doing whatever behind the camera, and I don't want to give a wrong example. Still, every stage of this process of experience is something that's going to help somebody else. So if you're not willing to share, you're not willing to grow. If you're not willing to ask questions, you're not willing to get the understanding. But if we just sit back and just waiting on a mystery God, we waiting on it to just fall out the sky. We're waiting on someone just to say that one word. And I mean, we don't want to get to the point we just calling on people. This is something that we all said that we wanted. So if we want it, let's bear witness and show and prove that we want it by engaging, by sharing, by not being so worried, being about what we think people gonna think. We love each other. This is family. This isn't business. This is family. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we act like family and talk amongst each other and learn and build with one another, and things that we don't know, let's say we don't know it, so that we can grow into the best version of ourselves. Sister Melv, I believe you are next. Let me bring you on up. Sometimes I get the rambling, so I'm gonna go and keep myself on point here. Let's see. There we go. But again, if you would like to visit your local mosque or study group, go to www.noistudygroup.com. If you haven't joined the app and someone sent you the link and you watch it on the Vimeo side and you want to get on the app, thepowercall.net, upgrade, get on the premium side as well. All of it helps. All of it helps. Again, this is your power call. There you go, Sister Melva. I see you.
Oh, okay. Assalamu
Wa
alaikum.
alaikum salam.
Thank you. Okay, brother Young Kondadan. I got your message, so I'm coming on. I usually sit back and listen because I learn a lot by listening. But once he spanked me, I said, okay, then I will come on. Assalamu alaikum, family. I wanted to address what Sister Beatrice was sharing about in reference to family. I'm the only one in my family on both sides that came into the nation. And whether or not I am still registered, the verdict is still out on that. But the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, once you get those teachings into your soul, there is no turning back after that. You have what it takes to go up against the family. I mean, the family just comes at me, and I just tell them, I'll always love you. I may not be the one that will be able to show you the benefit of these teachings, but let me be the Quran that you read. Watch me. Just watch my life. Just watch my lifestyle and let me be the Quran that you read. I'm not perfect now. Don't get me wrong, because I've been into some situations that I've really been tried in those situations, but I thank Allah that He brought me through them. He moved me all the way to Florida, away from everybody. I know no one here in Florida, for him to work with me. So I had to go inward and face all of the shadows within the self. And I'm still facing those shadows. There was a lot of trauma bonding with my family. Since we don't choose our family, we are put in families because there are certain things that we came into this lifetime to learn, to overcome. My oldest sister, she does not like me and has hated me since I've come on the planet. And I never understood why, the attitude towards me. And I have done absolutely nothing to her. I just showed up. And so you come across people in life like that sometimes, where you are a trial to others. And so as a result of that, I'm always checking myself, you know, asking Allah, oh Allah, what is it about me that causes people to treat me a certain way? You know, so I always have to go to Him. I hit that prayer rug and ask Him and pour out my heart to Him. You know, being as sensitive as I am, and about rising above emotions. I have questions about things, and I ask questions to get an understanding, not to be antagonistic, but to understand better. And as far as my family is concerned today, I love them from afar. I just send love to them. And when I feel in my body, my heart is paining, I go hit the prayer rug and I ask Allah, please remove this pain from my heart that I'm feeling. You know, someone is pulling on my energy. So it is hard to really bond with others because I feel I'm always in judgment because I'm misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? Is there anybody out there that can understand? Um, so coming into the power call, it has been so rewarding to me to be able to share what I've gone through. You know, I have shared that I've lost my mom. I lost my mom just shy of 3 years old. And that's been a struggle in this life. A motherless child, I'm telling you, she sees a hard time. And I just have no remembrance of her. But I thank Allah. I thank Allah because He's been my mother, He's been my everything.
Mm.
And so, beloveds, I am so honored to be here with you all. And I embrace you in love. Um, I just get so touched. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that. And when I feel the impact of, you know, negative energy coming into me, I have to go and be around the water, and I send back love wherever it's coming from. I just send back love because it is the most powerful force in the universe. And so when we are under attack, if we send back love, it will neutralize it
Mm-hmm.
always. Anyway, did not know. You know, when you open your mouth, you're always opening your mouth in faith because you don't know what's going to come through you. Anyway, thank you so much, Brother Wesley, for this opportunity, and my love to everyone. Have a beautiful day. Assalamu alaikum.
All praises due to Allah. Walaikum salam. Thank you, sister. That was beautiful. This is why the power call is the power call. This is why it's so important. Like Brother Young Khan said, that we can't be afraid. We got to be believers with attitude. We got to be
Okay.
believers with attitude. I got you, my sister.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Wesley.
Yes, ma'am. There we go. We have to stand on this truth because it needs no defense. We seek refuge in Allah. We don't seek refuge in this world because it's not going to help us. Clearly, we see it every day how this world is against us. So we have to seek refuge in Allah, the only reality. Everything else is an illusion. That's where the real source of comfort come from. But we trying to get comfort from drinking or alcohol. I mean, go drinking alcohol, same thing. Well, we trying to seek comfort from food. We trying to seek comfort from drugs. We trying to seek comfort from people who are just as inadequate or just on that path as well. They're always going to disappoint us. It's always going to be insufficient. So, and as the sister says, once you open your mouth in faith, you never know what's going to come out. So that's why we have this opportunity. And I believe Sister Randisha is next. But we want to make sure that we use this opportunity to share. Get it off your heart. Speak on it because you never know who's feeling the same way that you're feeling, who's been through something similar or going through something similar or will be going through something similar in the future. I see you in here twice, Sister Randisha. I'm just going to do the first one I see. But definitely share your testimony. If you're not able to come on camera, you can still come up and just turn your camera off and just speak, but that's what this is about, is to give us that confidence as well, because once the power call is off and you're dealing with reality, you on camera at that point at any time. So we just have to be conscious of that and be willing to open ourselves up to the process so that we can learn and continue to be that student. So I appreciate you sharing, Sister Melva. Definitely a beautiful testimony for sure. And as you can see in the comments, there's plenty of people who can relate to your story, going through what you speak on. And when you spoke on those trauma bonds, that's something serious because, we speak about in the world day ones. Everyone, you talk about your day ones. I ain't gonna never turn on my day ones. And I think about, I don't hear from my day ones anymore. Since I have no longer do what we was doing, I don't hear from them. So it showed me a lot. Okay, I sent it again. It showed me a lot about as the minister brought up in the first part of what we said, we talk about that love and that loyalty and things that we say that we stand on. Do we really stand on it, or is it a self-benefiting thing? Is it something that we just I love you based off what you can do for me, or what you can provide to the situation, or what you bring to the table? Or is it a genuine, sincere love as well? Let me know if you get that one, Sister Randisha. But yes, indeed, nothing yet. Let's see, because you're in there twice. I'm gonna try the other one too. We just see what happens. Okay. Yes, indeed. But again, to visit your local mosque or study group, www.noistudygroup.com. Upgrade. Um, I have rejoined. It said, okay. Let me see if I uninvite and try it again. Let me try that. Okay. Just give it a moment. Those on the Vimeo side, again, if you would like to come over and join, be sure to upgrade. Come on over to the premium side so that you're able to share as well. I'm sure you all have some takeaways, but if you're not ready to upgrade, definitely utilize the Power Call testimonial section. I'm not sure what's going on, Sister Brandisha. I'm gonna try one more time we're not gonna give up. Allah doesn't make no quitters. We're not gonna quit. We're gonna keep trying again. We got time. And who else do we have that wanted to share as well? I seen some other ones come up. Let me scroll up and see. Okay, so Yolanda will get you as well. I think that might have been the other one I seen. Okay, it's still not coming through. Okay, let me undo it. We'll do it one more time. Let's see here. All right, just sent it through. Send it to the other one. Well, I only see one now. There's only one. Oh, there we go. I see the other one. There we go. Let's try that. Okay. We're gonna make it. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right. And also, while we get this prepared, those on the premium side, we have the sisters, first sisters class coming up on the 21st. So get ready for that as well. If you have not upgraded yet and you want to get a part of that class, definitely upgrade so that you can join. Again, that is on September 21st at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm on the East Coast, so I always add in that Eastern time in there. But 5 p.m. Central Time on the 21st. will be the first sister class. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Keep keeping me out. This is okay. Okay, we'll go to Sister Yolanda. That's just in the sake of time, and we'll get that straightened out. Let me take this out here. There we go, Sister Yolanda. Right, coming your way, Sister Yolanda.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Pardon me as I work. I want to thank Sister Melva for sharing and answering a question that I have been asking and I want to ask and I'm still going to ask. So in dealing with the attitudes, I am the baby of my family. And since my parents have transitioned between 2018 and 2020, my family dynamic has crumbled. My children are in touch with my sister, but my sister does not choose to communicate with myself. And as you said, I just showed up. I've never done anything to her. And I strive to keep a positive attitude in accepting this, and the root knowledge or the root understanding that I come to, it's all for the love of money is the root of all evil. And I have a brother. So it's myself, my brother, and my sister, and we were, per the will, equally to be split assets, so on and so forth. Nevertheless, the shunning on me, shutting me out, and it even came to a point where I sat back and I was like, wow. My children started coming at me crazy, asking me was I on drugs, telling me I'm selling drugs, telling me I used to be bigger than what I am. And I'm like, wait a minute, I think I've been in this earthly body for 45 plus years. I don't ever be called being overweight. But nevertheless, all of this turmoil going about and my little crazy self, because I mind my business. I stay in my lane because I got my own self to make sure I do unto others as they do unto me. And I treat people how I want to be treated. And it's just been so mind-boggling for the past 4 years that I'm finally coming into a place of peace as long as I keep studying. And even since I've come into the nation, I just showed up. I'm a trial for her because I showed up. We both had the same parents. We both grew up in the same household. We experienced with our parents pretty much the same things. And I don't know to an extent of her business, but I know for me, we all have shared in the same dealings with our parents just about. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Like, I reached out to her. As I said, when we started this power call, that was my goal, to start a process of atonement, but she chooses not to communicate back. I still love them. As I tell my children, I still love my family. I'm just going to be loving them from afar. I can't take on her junk because it's not for me to take on. I can only make sure that I strive to conduct myself in the proper manner and I still see God in her. Because the whole time going through this, I was like, man, you was the one. Every time I ask, what does this mean? Go look it up. And here I am in a nation and words, clearing words. Look it up. Get an understanding of the word. Look up every word in a sentence. I was like, it was you that helped me write my paragraphs when I was going to school. And I was just like, oh my God, like what the heck happened? But okay, I'm past it. I still will await the day, if that day ever comes, that we all will come back into communication and stop this bickering. We are a family. Get some help. I went to auditing. I've been to therapy. I'm like, okay. And it's like, I'm so at peace. And just this week in dealing with attitude, I had two people that have just, I don't know what the heck is going on, but they have just given me their behinds. And I'm like, I've done nothing to you but being a friend. So if you would like my assistance, I think I have the right to ask questions. But because I'm asking questions, they just very dismissive of me. And I said, you know what? I don't have to go through this. I'm gonna leave you in whatever space you in. I'm gonna keep in the right attitude and check my emotions and not take it personal because we all going through stuff. So it just attitude this week seems to be the theme. And may Allah be pleased with my actions and my thoughts. And may he continue to bless us all. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, sister. That was great. That was great. And you think about when these things are presented to us, it's not only their trial, but it's ours as well to test our faith to see if we've learned the lesson, if what we have been studying on is what we're learning, what these new skills that we have in handling one another is as well, and how we're better able to be better equipped, to handle one another. And it's just another way to show us either what work we need to do, what work that we'll continue to do as well, and what work has to be done going forward, because it's all a growth process. We don't know what tomorrow holds. Inshallah, we'll see tomorrow. We don't know, but we just have to continue to steady the course. We have to stay the course. We have to continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to be open and willing to get that right attitude every day, because every day we're presented with a new obstacle, a new temptation, a new distraction that's trying to take us off course. But it's up to us to be able to take those steps, make it to our meetings, make it to our study group, make it to the power call in the morning, so that we can continue to be equipped and keep our minds set and focused on Allah and these life-giving teachings that's been given to us by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught through the minister, the most honorable minister, Louis Farrakhan. So we are wrapping up. We have about 3 minutes left on the live, so we're just going to begin to close now. Again, thepowercall.net. If you would like to upgrade, you're on Apple, go to the web browser, go ahead and upgrade, so you can come over and give feedback and also be able to engage in the sisters only space, because there's a class coming up on the 21st, September 21st, 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. We also have the brothers only chat. We'll have classes there as well coming. If you want to visit your local Muslim study group, www.noistudygroup.com. Be sure to fill out that information. When the sister reaches out to you, she'll give you the information. When you visit on Friday or visit on Sunday, fill out the sign-in sheet. Send that back to the sister so we can acknowledge you that you did come out and visit and see for yourself. And keep in mind, yes, sisters only is for sisters only. Please, brothers, do not attempt to join the sisters only space if you've upgraded. And also keep in mind, these spaces, you may see them as private. You may want to join it, but you will not be able to join or be accepted to join in those groups until you have upgraded. We are able to see who has upgraded. So just because you send a request to join the group, it will not get approved unless you are on the premium side. So go ahead and upgrade so that you can get there as well. We have many things coming along. We got a book club. We have different things that we're developing. So continue to be patient with us. Continue to have the right attitude as well when it comes to this app that we're putting together and we're growing with. But yes, sisters only chat is for sisters. The brothers only chat is for brothers. So we want to make sure we have those safe spaces, so that we all can grow within those aspects as well. And as Sister Yasina says, sisters, bring your questions on Thursday. Let me see if I can quickly pull up. Let me pull up the title of it real quick. And I may not be able to see it because I'm not in the sisters only chat. I follow direct. Here we go. Saving our women from domestic abuse, and sex trafficking. That is on September 21st, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come on out. Like I said, upgrade now so you can be ready and you can go on over to the sisters only chat and be able to engage, learn, bring your questions. If you have experiences, share your experiences and enjoy that as well. But this is your power call. Thank y'all again. This has been a little bit more seamless and we're going to continue to get better every day. And as always, assalamu alaikum. Have a great day.